American. I live in a 200 square foot flat that has no bedroom. I pay almost $1,800 a month for it now. That's not including utilities. I work full-time. I work 10-hour shifts. I work 5 days a week. After I get my paychecks, if I'm to take out rent, utilities, my car payment, which is a 2016 used car, if I take out insurance on the car and medical expenses for my medication, I'm left with about $50 a month to cover for gas, food, and anything else I might need, such as like toilet paper, cleaning supplies, literally anything, except going to a doctor. Like, I haven't seen a doctor outside of my psychiatrist for like 3 years now, because fuck, I can't afford that shit. So needless to say, I'm in debt. I was already in debt, but just in the last year I've added $10K to my debt because girls gotta eat. When I made a video about this last year, I got a lot of hate for it online, people saying I need to just pick myself up by the bootstraps, that I'm not trying hard enough. But I think people in America now are realizing that, like, yeah, you're one small step from getting to where I am, to homelessness, and more people are living like me every day. Degrees don't matter here. It just matters what kind of family you were born into, I guess. If you have money, you can sit in the bank and make money. But if you're a worker, you're not really a person here. You're just an asset. And where do you go when it's illegal in some states to be homeless? Why are we considered one of the wealthiest nations, and yet we have almost 1 million people on the streets living, and we can't take care of them? Why are we starting wars and sending money to other countries instead of helping the people here? Or even just using that money for good overseas instead of fucking evil? Americans are so used to hearing fake news that most of us probably still aren't aware of how the world actually works or what history it's actually had. And most of us are just trying to get through each day. We want to leave. We want to have a better life. How do you leave when you don't have money? How do you just go to a different country and not just be homeless there? How do you even get there? I'm an American, and I'm just the average American. Don't come at me for the word flat. Granny flat is a thing in the United States.
I want us to talk a little about this. Americans are complaining that the American government is not taking care of them, and the life in America is becoming unbearable, with people living a lifestyle that does not augur well, because America seems, or has always boasted, to be the superpower. It has always wanted or put itself as the pillar of the whole world. That is how even the American president, that is Donald Trump, views it, because he says that America is over any other country and can control the whole world. But this is surprising, because we see how this woman is complaining, plus others that I want you to watch, because I want to bring other videos that also demonstrate how American people are suffering, with lots of people in the streets, with lots of others not meeting daily meals or getting the lifestyle they should or they deservedly should be having. So let us watch these other stories so that we can talk or comment in the end. If you're watching us, kindly subscribe to our channel. So let us watch.
Bruh, how are people making it? If you making $30 an hour, it's weird to ask that, but how are you making it? After you pay your rent, $1,500 a month, that's on the low side. Car note, $500 a month. Phone bill, $100 a month. Insurance, gas, food, electricity, health insurance, all these day-to-day expenses. How are people making it? You do the math and you come back and tell me what the numbers look like for you. Because a person can make 30 bucks an hour and is going to struggle. I can only imagine making 15 bucks an hour. You cannot live on that. No, you cannot convince me otherwise. You cannot live on 15 or 30 bucks an hour, or you're going to stay broke.
Living in America is getting so expensive. I see video after video of people sharing their struggles, and I just came across a video that honestly just kind of sums up a lot of the frustrations that many Americans are facing right now.
What's up, America? It is too difficult to live here in the United States in the year 2025. Holy, I have never seen a time when people require so much necessity just to live in America, but also the price for those necessities are so high. Most of America's literally living paycheck to paycheck and hand to mouth. At the same time, the requirements of responsibility to survive here in the United States have never been greater. People used to live a simple life, and is it complicated now and expensive? But if you don't have these expensive objects, you can't survive. You have to have a car, you have to have a phone, you have to have internet just to do anything anymore. And this shit's just baked into American society now. You can barely survive without a phone, a car, or internet. What the is going on here? On top of all that, prices have not come down whatsoever since Joe Biden's been president. Not a penny. Prices for housing is still just as high as it was 3 years into the Biden administration. Same with gas prices. Food prices in some cases are double or up more. Utility costs are going up. Has anyone noticed that? I sure as have. Hello, red flag, winter's coming up. Car prices, insurance prices, health insurance is they're denying more people coverage even though people are paying more. Auto insurance is through the roof. I mean, car lending companies are going bankrupt, ladies and gentlemen. The shit's really slapping in the fan. Have you noticed fewer jobs available? I've noticed it. Have you noticed stagnant pay? Sure have. Look, the necessity to live here in the United States as far as making your ends meet is through the roof and unacceptable. And people aren't living in ginormous luxury. I live in a double, by the way. This right here is the nicest part of the house. You know why I live in a double? Because I can't afford property taxes or a home or down payments. Nobody can anymore. It's ridiculous. And then if you finally break that wall working 70 hours a week and you can finally do it, you're never even around to enjoy it. You drive your car to and from work, never actually going anywhere with it. You live in a big house that you pay for, but all you get to do is sleep in it. The days of having a vacation are over with. Now, I know the Federal Reserve has a lot to do with prices staying high and companies are price gouging. And of course, the government's been inept when it comes to bringing prices down because Democrats are unwilling to do anything or make any policy, and Republicans generally only help the rich. But what the is the option here? What the is everybody supposed to do? You can tell. There's just a general feeling. You can tell that it's getting slightly, little by little, more and more difficult every single week, bit by bit. Every one of you people can feel it. I mean, just in the month of August, auto repair prices are up 15% in a month, not 5 years, a month. So whatever the going on with this whole system, we need to pump the brakes and figure it the out. Because 90% of you out there are struggling. No matter how much you make $120,000 a year, you're still being banged out financially. And the debt of everybody, don't even get me started on the debt everybody owes. Holy So what's the end result here? 99.9% of all money going to the top 1,000 people, and it's basically Thunderdome to fight for bread to survive? I mean, I understand making money, the American dream. You come over here, you start with nothing, you build it up through hard work, you make a $10 million company. That's great. That's what you're supposed to do. You're not that kind of wealth. You're a self-made man if you do that. But these up at the top 4 or 5%, yeah, you know what? You have enough. Everyone else on the planet is struggling except you. You know what that means? There's a problem.
So I did my best to edit out a bunch of curse words in that video. Obviously, this individual is very expressive, is very upset. It represents what a lot of people are feeling right now. We are so paycheck to paycheck. Most Americans are not even paycheck to paycheck anymore. They can't even bridge the gap. We cannot keep up with the bills. And it's just a horrible reality.
So what's the end game? Like, what happens when the economy goes completely belly up and everything is absolutely too expensive to just exist? Because right now, it's almost impossible to be able to afford an apartment, to afford car insurance, to afford gas. Like $100 for your cell phone every month, $80 just for internet service. Like, what happens when we just can't afford to live? Because as a single income household, this shit is damn near impossible right now.
Okay, serious question real quick. How are we supposed to afford life? I have 3 kids. What? And my husband and I both have full-time incomes, and I still am puzzled. Like, it's an enigma. Like, for real, why? I just left Walmart and got the bare minimum for groceries, like bare minimum, and cheap stuff, baby. We ain't eating salmon and steak, baby. We eating Hamburger Helper, some Doritos, like we getting like the Dino Nuggies, okay? Great value brand. Now, I did get 3 pairs of kids shoes because my kids are starting back to school and they need some new sneakers. But tell me why I got the bare minimum in groceries and 3 pairs of sneakers, and I'm coming out just shy of $300. There's no way. This is crazy. Like, I had children on the understanding that if I worked hard and put my pennies away, that we would be okay. And now I'm feeling not okay. And then my intrusive thoughts just come in and they start thoughting, you know what I mean? And I'm like, I have 3 kids that are all very close together, which means they're all going to be in college at the same time. How in the world am I supposed to send them to college? Now, don't get me wrong. I know that, like, it's completely normal for people to just take out student loans and do all that, but I was lucky enough that my mother paid my way through college semester by semester, like the strong single mom she is, by making sacrifices because she didn't want me to have all that debt. And while I am not naive enough to know that I may not be able to do that for 3 children, I still hope to be able to help, you know, ease that burden. And I'm like, huh? How? Literally how? Mama, I don't know how much harder mama can hustle, okay? Mama is making the moolah, and the moolah is not spreading thinly, and I can't make it reach all corners. It's crazy.
Good morning, kids and humans under 40. I want to show you something based on my last text. Don't get loud with me. The average rent in Massachusetts is $29.63 a month. Do not say that this is just Boston area. This is not even luxury. These are towns. There you go. Is another site. Studio average is a studio, $2,396. That does not include utilities. 1 bedroom, $25.57. 2 bedroom, $29.63. Follow me for a second. Average income in Massachusetts per person is $48,593. You are supposed to make 3 times the rent in Massachusetts to have an apartment. If you were to make 3 times the rent in Massachusetts at $2,963 times 3. That's going to bring you to $8,889 a month. Ready? We're not done. Since y'all like to do math or yell at me for not doing math. That is $106,000 a year. Are you making $106,000 a year? And before you get on here with your 25 and under attitude saying, oh, we'll just pick a better degree. Some of these people have been in their careers for 20 years. And what was paying $65,000 10 years ago is still paying $65,000, and it's no longer a good job.
I saw this video on here and she was like, what is a normal 2-income household nowadays? And I was reading through the comments, which I shouldn't have done. But me and my husband are blessed. We make good money, but yet we still struggle because we are essentially paying 3 mortgages every single month. We have our actual mortgage. We have our student loan debt, which my husband has a doctorate degree and I have a master's degree. So you can only imagine. And we also have daycare for 2 kids, which is a small mortgage. So literally over half of our income goes just to those 3 things. We're not talking about food, we're not talking about cars, we're not talking about insurances, we're not talking about savings, we're not talking about utilities, we're not talking about like clothing our kids, diapers.
I live in Virginia, and in Virginia, even if you own your vehicle, you still have to pay taxes on it every single year. It's called personal property taxes, and it can affect your cars, trailers that you have, campers, RVs, boats, anything along the lines of that. Even though you pay taxes on it when you purchase it, you're still going to pay taxes on it every single year, even if it's paid off. The area that I live in, we get 1 bill a year, and it is due at the end of every year, right around Christmas time. There are other areas that get a bill twice a year, so they have 2 smaller bills throughout the course of the year. So let's review our bill because it just came in the mail yesterday. The way it works is the county gets an assessed value for your item. So whether that's your car, camper, whatever it is, they give you an assessed value. And then there is a rate per $100 that you pay. This year's rate is $2.35 per $100 of the piece of property that you own. And then they charge you per month that you own that item. So if you had your car for 12 months, they're going to charge you for 12 months. If you owned it for 6 months and then got a different car, they'll charge you for the first 6 months for the first car and then the second 6 months for the second car. I had to fold this so you guys couldn't see my personal information. But for us to own our personal property in the state of Virginia this year, $2,104.45 is what we have to pay to the county right before Christmas time. Last year when I posted the video on how much we owed, everyone was like, oh, that probably includes like their registration and tags and all that. Nope, that is a whole separate charge. This bill right here is specifically for owning a car or camper, trailer, whatever, in the state of Virginia.
I used to think that if I got a mortgage, it would stay the same forever. So when I bought a house, I had this mindset like, okay, cool. The mortgage is $2,400 a month, and that's just what it'll be for the next 30 years. I'll get raises, but that number stays the same. Except here's the thing, it doesn't. Even if your interest rate is fixed, your mortgage still goes up. Sometimes a lot because of escrow. Property taxes go up, your home insurance goes up, your escrow account comes up short, so your lender just increases your monthly payment to cover that. And it's not like it's optional, they just do it. So yeah, technically your loan is fixed or your rate is fixed, but your payment isn't. Nobody really explains that part until it hits your bank account.
How are we all living right now? In 2025, how are we all getting by? And this is no way political, so please leave that behind at the door. But in reality, friends, fellow Americans, how are we living? How are you getting by? I don't believe there's a middle class anymore. I believe middle class is now low income, and low income is now just not surviving. So what brings me to this today is, well, a few things. One thing, for example, our town has been building these apartments, and every town is required to give so much percentage to affordable housing. And so they've announced that the lottery is beginning for the low income section of this apartment building at $2,300 a month for a 2-bedroom. A 1-bedroom was like $2,100. That's how much you would have to make basically a week. And that's low income. Our state senator on Facebook announced that. Very exciting news. I called it out. Many people agreed. Some didn't. You can kind of see where we're going with that. Who's not struggling right now and who is and understands. Another example, groceries. Is there anyone that can afford to buy groceries at this day and time? Everyone, I'm sure, has cut back. I can be honest. I no longer eat 3 meals a day, maybe 1. I mean, I do have an eating issue anyway, but so it's easy for me to do that. But what about the people that don't? Like, you can't afford to eat anymore. I remember when things were normal. I have a Market Basket as our local grocery store, and I could get a full week's of groceries, full week's worth of groceries for $100 or less. Eggs were 99 cents. It was just the affordable grocery store. It is still the most affordable grocery store, but that $100 is now $300. My son buys the same groceries every week when he was by himself, before he had his son. And it used to be between 40 and 50 bucks. He was a single guy. But then it went to 100 bucks for the same exact grocery list, like the same exact things. It's just not sustainable for anybody. And then if God forbid, like that, what has just happened to us, you run into any kind of crisis, because we have very recently, we're in it right now. What do you do? What do you do? Because there's no money to put away anymore. There's no money. Every ounce of what we had was going into the bills that we started back when things were more affordable. But as costs were rising, those same bills are now double, but with the same income. But I mean, what do people do? I know, like, side hustles, everyone's doing side hustles now, but then it's harder to get side hustles because everybody needs them. And when you have a full-time job where you're working 40, 50, I don't even think full-time is 40 anymore, like say 50, 60 hours. My son works 60 hours a week and still can't afford anything. After caring for his son, he can't afford anything. And I just don't know how people are doing it. And like I said, I don't know when crisis hits, what are people supposed to do? The only people making out right now are people that have the money and can afford this kind of economy. And that being said, the only other thing I see that is so frustrating to me is there's people out there that don't work, but yet somehow they're still thriving. They're still, like, I see it on the daily around my town where they don't work. Maybe they're disabled. I don't know their exact story, but I know they don't work. But they're at the dispensary because it's legal in our town, in our state, every day or every other day. They're at the liquor store. They smoke cigarettes. They get DoorDash 2 times a day, coffee delivered in the morning from Dunks, nails did every week or every other week. They're thriving somehow without working. But the people that are busting their ass, there just feels like no hope right now. So if you guys are going through it, which I'm quite sure most of you watching this are, let me know in the comments if there's any hints, suggestions on what to do, especially in a crisis. And if you just want to vent it out, leave it in the comments below. And I don't have any answers to this, obviously. But I need to finally say something. I've been careful on here, you know, because it can be just kind of maybe perceived as political, and this isn't by any means. So I just am frustrated today, so it's time to speak out. So that's what I'm doing. And my dog's hair is going everywhere. Say hi, Piper. She doesn't have to worry about the economy. We'll always take care of her. I'll starve before I don't take care of her. Huh.
Dude, what happened that you went through all of this?
What got me to November of 2024 living in my car?
Exactly.
The economy, for one. The money was coming in, but the rent was going sky high. I was working, taking care of my youngest, doing attendant care.
Take right next at 127 toward North Avenue.
Attendant care is when you provide their help with their daily living skills and teaching them certain activities, and you get paid through the state. And I was also doing DoorDash, and I was also doing Instacart, which is where you shop and deliver groceries to people.
Is it just you at this time, you and your children, your single mom at the time? How much were you paying for rent?
In 2019, the rent was $1,075. By time November 2024 hit, the rent was $1,500, almost $1,600. If you were late 1 month, it was just like they would constantly, each day, every couple days would just add more money to that. And there were, some places will give you the leniency of paying it over time and everything like that. But most places nowadays, they just want your money. If you can't pay, you're out. And that's where the court comes in effect, and then eventually being evicted. There's renter's assistance, but where I was located, there was a waiting list for it. So it was easier to be homeless than for me to actually stay in my apartment, because I would get more services if I was technically homeless living in my car.
I'm going to try and make it through this video without breaking down. Today is my son's 17th birthday. Happy birthday, my boy. He is 1 year away from the point that he is supposed to be leaving the house, going out into the world on his own, becoming an adult. And there's just absolutely no way, as I look at the prospects for what his future is potentially going to look like in the state of the world and the state of our country today, it absolutely enrages me. 10 years ago, I made 1/3 what I do right now. My partner did not work, and we had virtually no debt, and we're getting by just fine. Absolutely no problems at all. Today, I make 3 times as much. She works at a job that requires a master's degree, and not just working full-time, working so much more than full-time. And we are barely getting by. Don't get me wrong, we are getting by, which is to say that we are doing better than a lot of other people who are absolutely not getting by right now. But we are barely keeping our heads above water and living check to check, even making 4 times at this point what we did 10 years ago. And every time I turn around, all I see in the corporate world is record-breaking profits. Record-breaking profits. And every time I hear that, all I hear is record-breaking theft, record-breaking fraud, record-breaking extortion, because those record profits are the stolen wages of the workers. CEOs and the billionaire class are the only non-essential component of our economic system, period. If all of them disappeared tomorrow, if all of them were somehow eliminated from the equation, it would not affect our day-to-day lives or the functionality of corporations or any other businesses as a whole.
So let no one cheat you that America is any better place as compared to all other parts of the world. America also has its problems to solve. America still has people who are suffering in the streets. America has people who doesn't have the quality lifestyle that they boast about online or when the president talks. So this is something that is surprising, because America has always put itself as a pillar, or rather a superpower that can never be shaken by anything, with the poverty level being said to be low. But people here are giving their narrations. People here are talking boldly on how American life is, how they can't get what is deserved, the meals they can't afford quality meals. Some even live in a 10 by 10 room, and some are homeless. Some doesn't have where to stay or where to be. So it is something that is still surprising, because we always know America to be a posh life, or rather supports a posh lifestyle, and everyone has the dream, the American dream, to go there and live. But this is not really what America possesses. America still has a lot to do to its people. It's giving aid. I've seen some complaining that America is giving aid to other countries, yet its citizens, the citizens of America, still are suffering. So I want you to also share your thought on this. Hit our comment section and we will appreciate. Do not forget to subscribe. Thank you, and may the God Lord bless you.